Hi, everybody. Welcome to The Right Side with Doug Billings. Thanks for watching and listening. Don't forget to subscribe to us on your favorite podcast platform. We are on all of them: Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, whatever. Go out there and subscribe to us. And if you want to see us, you want to see the majesty, the glory, the charisma, the splendor that is everything about The Right Side with Doug Billings, make sure that you head over to YouTube and subscribe to us over there, Doug Billings, and on Facebook at The Right Side with Doug Billings. Parler, Twitter, CloudHub, at Doug Billings. Ladies and gentlemen, here we are, Monday, November 9th. We are going through what will be a long and lengthy legal battle for the presidency of the United States. It appears that the multiple credible allegations of voter fraud are real, and he always knows, ladies and gentlemen. He always knows. I'm talking about President Trump. He always knows, and he's almost usually correct. This is what drives the new Democratic Socialist Communist Party crazy. President Trump is almost always right in everything that he says. With regard to these kinds of things, these allegations, these numbers, he's usually right. And I want to begin the show by thanking a man who is just working his ass off, really, Rudy Giuliani. Mr. Mayor, thank you for everything that you have done. You, to get the illicit and the illegal ballots identified, discounted, discontinued, disqualified. I know that you're both in front of and behind the scenes with regards to all of this, and you get a lot of attention, and there's lots of massive amounts of fraud being uncovered and massive amounts of work being done by some of the most brilliant legal minds in the United States. And I just want to say thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for everything that you've done. You, of course, also have darts thrown at you from the radical left, but you have not been dissuaded, and we appreciate you. You are an American hero, and I want to also thank those that are working hard alongside with you to find fraud, to shine the light of truth on all of these issues and all of these allegations from the bottom of my heart, and on behalf of many, I'm sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Rudy Giuliani. Thank you. You've uncovered a trove of wrongdoing, and we're grateful for it. The dead are rising, folks. The dead are rising from the dead to vote. It's a miracle. Joe Frazier, the father, he's been dead for a long time. He's voting. The father of Will Smith has reportedly voted. Some of the members of the Buffalo Soldiers have voted. Wow. I mean, it's amazing. Hey, I wonder, you know, I'm a fan of Elvis's. I wonder if Elvis has left the building of heaven and come down to earth to vote again. He was a Republican, you know. So it would be curious for me to see if Elvis has cast a vote. We have to laugh because the idiocracy of all of this is beyond measure. The intellectual immaturity of the left, who thought they could get away with such a thing, is crazy. Remember a couple of things. Dominion voting systems, the common voting system that's involved in all of these areas, all of these states, with regards to voter fraud. It's that system that's the common thread. And we now have these allegations are including that they have hacked the leadership of the left. The New Democratic Socialist Communist Party has hacked that system. That's why you may remember when you were watching the results coming in on election night that on several of the networks you saw all of a sudden a giant bump in the numbers for Biden. And you may recall that some of the newscasters were even taken aback and shocked by those big bounces in numbers. Remember? Well, that's because at that moment the system was hijacked and all those ballots were inserted into it. 150 or so ballots in various counties in Michigan. And isn't it interesting, folks, that all of those were for Biden, and that on the down ticket for all of those ballots there were no other votes for Democratic candidates? Interesting. Interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, our American republic, no matter how strong it is, and it is strong, it's not invincible. There's a delicate balance to its survival that is based on truth and legitimacy. Truth of its systems and truth of the people put in place to administer those systems. Legitimacy of the votes of its citizenry to elect those people who will administer our government Truth and legitimacy are not only required, in my view at least, not only required to keep our republic alive and thriving, they're expectations that all Americans have a right to truth and legitimacy. We have a right to a full confidence that all of our processes and our systems and our people within those systems are being truthful and that they're legitimate. Our government has a duty to protect those systems from fraud and forgery. And it also has a duty to expel people who violate their oath to honor the truth and legitimacy that we have earned as rights in this country. It's troubling, but not unexpected, that the members of the New Democratic Socialist Party have been caught here. They have, in their own words, implemented systems that would remedy their call to resist. Ever since Trump was nominated, they have promised that they would do this. We need to listen to them because they're telling us the truth in that regard. Whatever it takes, they would say, whatever it takes to get rid of Trump. Well, they've gone and done almost everything possible. The way that they've tormented this president for the past 4 years, hounded and hassled him on baseless, intellectually immature, and blatant lies is almost unforgivable. On these two items, though, with regards to truth and legitimacy, there can be no compromise from the right side on this. No failure and no compromise on this. We will hold the line on truth and legitimacy because it has to. Those two things must be achieved in every election. And so it's beginning. 132,000 votes in Georgia are identified as possibly being illegal. I should say ballots in Georgia. And if you have time, ladies and gentlemen, you should go to the website for the Supreme Court of the United States and write a message to the justices urging them to take up this case and listen to and review all of the facts that Rudy Giuliani and his team will present. I wrote a letter today, this morning, to the Supreme Court justices, and I'm going to read it to you to give you an idea of what you should probably consider sending yourselves in these words or some form or fashion of them. I wrote, to the justices of the Supreme Court of the United States, dear honorable justices, I'm writing to voice my concern for the integrity of the 2020 presidential election. I voted for President Trump, and I respectfully request that you agree to hear all lawsuits and evidence put before you and to fully and objectively render a decision as to the integrity of the election results. Overturning an illicit or illegal outcome is the proper remedy if, in your final analysis, you determine the outcome was fraudulent. And whilst certain portions of our citizenry may be upset that illicit or illegal ballots may change the outcomes of certain current projections, eliminating illegally cast ballots is the only proper remedy, in my view. We deserve to have full confidence in all of the systems and people that gather and tally our votes for the President of the United States and for all other elected offices. Sincerely, Doug Billings. Now, ladies and gentlemen, on the right side, we hold these truths to be self-evident. That truth and legitimacy must be obtained in any election that we have in this republic, or else we are going to crumble as a republic. Make sure that you write everyone you can with regards to your representatives in the Senate and the House, no matter their party, whether they're Republican or whether they're members of the New Democratic Socialist Communist Party. Remember, the Democratic Party no longer exists anymore. We have to be honest. And write the members of the Supreme Court. Because we on the right side know and believe that this election was rigged because the Democratic Socialist Communist Party told us so. Now, again, Rudy Giuliani, you're out there, I hope, listening and watching. I know that we follow each other on Twitter, and I would be honored if you would consider coming on this program so we can talk about all of this. 10 or 15 minutes of your time, and come on the show and talk. Thank you again, sir, for everything that you've done. For all of you truth seekers out there, for all of you who have not yielded to these unfounded projections of any winner of any party because of the fraud and the scandal that's currently involved. I like what what the president of Mexico did, not supporting any candidate until the fraud is resolved. He wasn't disrespectful to Vice President Biden. He wasn't disrespectful to President Trump. He simply said, there's a lot of scandal, there's a lot of fraud surrounding this election, and before I congratulate anybody, I'm going to let that all settle itself out within the court system, and you all work that out, and then I'll congratulate you. So cheers to the president of Mexico for having the guts to just be patient and wait and see. Ladies and gentlemen, you have a pack of blessings on your back. Don't forget it. Take inventory of those blessings every day. The United States of America is a sound, strong republic. The truth will prevail in this. Have hope in that. Have hope in that. No matter what the outcome, God is with us. Divine providence still guides this country. And I believe that we're going to see profound differences in the results that are presented to the court, and that the justices of the Supreme Court will render what is right, just, and lawful in all of this. And I hope that you all can get to that place as well. Don't stop fighting, and above all, don't stop praying. Let's wrap President Trump up in prayer, offer up this situation to God, and let's see what happens. We will meet again, ladies and gentlemen. I can promise you that right here on the right side with Doug Billings. Please make sure, again, that you subscribe to our show on all of the podcast platforms. Head over to YouTube as well. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, CloudHub, and Parler. Ladies and gentlemen, may God continue to bless you, and may he continue to bless the United States of America. Cheers.